What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And you want to know how dire this situation, how rapidly it's advancing? Well, look no further because I'm about to show you right now what the OSHA medicine mandate um, and where it's headed, which is the Supreme Court. Now, remember, if you've been following this channel and been watching the videos consistently, you know that a couple weeks back, when the OSHA mandate had been turned down, I said, I know a lot of people are probably hip hip hurraying around, excited and happy because they think this is a huge victory and that this is not gonna head anywhere. Well, look how fast look how long that lasted. Because of all these decisions from the Federal Court of Appeals, right? The Fifth Court ruled it unconstitutional, but now the Sixth Court has said that these extreme measures can be taken, etc., etc. So now it's heading to the Supreme Court. And here is going to be the key turning point. Folks, let me give you a little background. I believe it was Indiana University, if I'm not mistaken. The students wanted to take or took the mandates up to the Supreme Court, begging them to get rid of these mandates in order to attend university, college. And the Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, she declined their request to end these mandates. And she ruled that it was okay for the university to institute these mandates. And that's just one. And given her background, okay, she has a very similar background to the majority that sit on the Supreme Court. And what do all those have in common? This is not to bash. This is not to in any way diminish these individuals. But what correlates them and what they have as a common denominator is they're all Catholics from the Catholic religion. Now, that's interesting, and we'll see what happens with that. But if you look at what the Pope and the Vatican have done, they have made it mandatory for you to have a green pass in order to enter into the Vatican. And so if these are very devout Catholics, these Supreme Court justices, then what makes you think that they'll be doing contrary to their so-called leader? And that should put a lot into perspective for you. This is just an objective statement that I'm making right now. It's an objective statement. Whether they go against what the leader of their church is doing, okay, that's fine. They're standing for liberty and freedom. But if they decide to institute and make lawful these extreme medicine mandate measures and controls, folks, we're headed down a very, very slippery slope, which I've been warning about. And lest you forget, let me remind you that Kristalina Georgieva from the IMF said that 2021 and 2022 were going to be very important years. And she said that medicine policy will become economic policy. Straight from the mouth of Kristalina Georgieva. So, this is the crucial turning point. And I know a lot of folks are having hardships with their job, as am I. But what's truly most important is to stand up for what's liberty, freedom, pursuit of happiness, God-given rights, right? That no one can go and tell you that you have to put a foreign substance into your body. And whatever that may mean, I don't know what your line in the sand is. I don't know what's too far for you. But when you have a God-given right to decide, to have the option to choose, no one can take that away from you. And in cases throughout history, okay, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on the medicine, right? I've made it pretty clear what my stance is from my research that I've done. And I think that throughout history, people who have stood up against what went against their conscience and decided that this was that the measures that were being instituted by either governments, kings, etc., were too far, they stood up for that. Now that may cost your livelihood. That may cost a lot. But how far are you willing to defend the very essence of freedom, the very essence of humanity? Even if it's just you versus the crowd. And that's why I believe that it's important to really understand what this means. And we'll monitor it closely. Okay? And I think this was a good point here in this article, in which they're saying that the cities are segregating their populations based on willingness to acquiesce to the government's medicine mandate. And here it says that recognizing that the old normal is not going to return, employers and employees have sought new models for a workplace that will protect the safety and health of employees who earn the living there. And I think and people are so stuck on, okay, we've lost 800,000 people, right? That's not to diminish the lives that were lost. But how many more lives are lost through diabetes, through cancer, through car accidents, through all these other diseases, right? It's higher than this. But where's the logic? I'm trying to ask myself, what are people seeing? And here, let's see, a good point as well was businesses were not shut down by the the thing that flies in the air, let's just say. But they were forced and closed down by law. And everything that has been happening, hundreds of thousands of people losing jobs, has not been from the particulate that is in the air, but more so from lockdown measures and these mandates. So go figure. Folks, at some point or another, everyone's tolerance is different. But where is your line in the sand when you say enough is enough? And one thing I've been trying to really stress is principles, morals, because those will be your pillars that you stand on. And being prepared. And so, knowing this, prepare yourself. Ask yourself questions. What do I believe? What is it that I truly believe in? Ask yourself that question. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.